Welcome to Ferocious Achiever. I'm James Hepner, founder and CEO of Hepner Results Coaching. We turn successful achievers into high-level achievers, grow their authority, expand their capacity to maximize all of life, and help them create a life that is vibrant and rich no matter the outcome. We help successful people stop the self-sabotage, raise their standards, and participate with unshakable confidence, creating more gains with less strain. We believe that every person has a unique message that can positively impact the world. Stick around to the end of the show where we'll reveal how you can be our next guest in 20 to 25 minutes. Let's go. Welcome, friends. Today we have on the show someone who is clearly well appointed. You look at this dude, you see him. He's got a vest. He's got a blue tie. He's the blue guy. Steve Buzogany is a lifetime entrepreneur and among the top 10% of real estate agents in the United States. Now that's a pretty cool little fact. And honestly, like you've shared with me, you've sold well over $100 million of real estate. And you become a master of relationships. And so what we want to do today is dig into some of your magic and uncover some of what makes you tick. And I got some things prepared for you, but I'm willing to let all of that stuff go. And let's see where we can take this ride, because it's going to be a fun one. I talked with you just a little bit before the show. So Steve, welcome to the show.
Well, thanks for having me, man. I'm excited to be here.
So when you first checked out Ferocious Achiever, what stood out to you?
I liked for me, I really like the audience that you talk to, and I like the actually the brand itself, the Ferocious Achiever. So it's almost like when you hear it, it's like you immediately think top 1% of thinkers, and that's just because that's where it all starts in the mind. So like people who think that way, it's like, okay, I need to be around that. And people, obviously you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So, spending time with the 5% or the 1% of thinkers, like you start to gravitate towards that kind of thinking, and it's just the kind of juice I need every morning.
That's awesome. And it looks like when you get up in the morning, it's almost like you fall out of bed wearing that stuff, and the stuff being the headphones, you're just locked and loaded. You're ready to ingest and wire this stuff in. I think so much of success has to do with, are we willing to be open to new perspective? Oftentimes people, they listen for, I think, for two things. One of them, many times people listen for how they can change the narrative. And then there's other people that listen to understand. And I think listening to understand leads you to a place of discovery. And that's that non-anxious striver that Ferocious Achiever is all about. When you just listen, tap in, discover a new perspective. So what have you discovered through real estate? I know you and I were talking just prior to the show. And of course, you're an advocate of something really unique, and it's called appreciation. And so we could all handle a little more of that in our life. So when you think about tapping into life, thinking about all the success you've had, how has that all wired you towards being genuinely appreciative and just letting that build momentum and allow you to show up in a really deep relational way?
Yeah, for sure. So I think the best way to put that is, so gratitude is obviously the quote for gratitude is the greatest of all virtues and the parent of all others. The only thing is, nobody tells you that when you put gratitude with a fixed plan that actually goes into, like, by plan, I mean a marketing plan. Mm-hmm. Nobody tells you that gratitude actually has the highest ROI available to business owners, that's completely available. Like nobody knows that, or if they do know that, they don't do it. They just, like you were saying, they just understand it, but they don't execute it. They don't take the action. So when you couple gratitude with a fixed plan, which is what we do here, is the systemized relationship marketing. When you put that all in one thing, that's where you get that high ROI. And we're talking 10x, 15x, 50x, 1000x. Like it gets high up there. So that's basically what I would say. That's the basis of where it all starts. And that's where the relationships are too. Because when you show appreciation for other people, people want to. The best way I've defined gratitude is a purposeful unbalancing of a scale, where you absolutely, when you give gratitude towards someone, you are tipping the scale towards them, and you are pouring on them. And obviously, we've all heard the law of reciprocity. People want to rebalance the scale. Now, the cool thing about gratitude is most people will overcorrect. And then that's where, you get the 10x, karma comes back 10x, You pour enough good on people, you're going to get 10x back on average, roughly, whatever. But basically you unbalance the scale on purpose. And if you unbalance it on enough people, it's going to be a waterfall on you.
It's fantastic, right? Unbalance the scale towards people. I love that. Oftentimes we get into a stance in life where we often ask ourselves, are we givers? And then of course society says, are you takers? But I think we got to be so careful, because instead of saying takers, are we givers? And also, are we receivers? Yeah. And I think gratitude done well, when you tip the scale and you throw it their way, what it requires is that inner nudging. When I receive depreciation from you, that I'm just receiving. This is not taking. This is just a generous free flow. And the one thing that I always observe, and I love you to kind of unpack this for us a little bit, like I'd like to hear your thought on it. But I think gratitude begins with a free flow from within, where you give to yourself, you appreciate from within. And what happens is, because you give, you receive from within. So love, appreciation, those are two those words are connected, right? They're synonymous with each other. So it's an inner job. So when you throw down, tip the scales towards me, I'm not necessarily feeling like it's a task for you. It's something that I can feel that you do authentically for yourself. And you're so fueled that this is just a natural outgrowth of who you are on the inside. What's your take on it?
That's exactly right. I would say that the worst thing you do is it's almost like you don't want to torture yourself too, because like when you're truly thankful for what you have, like I do a gratitude journal every morning. It takes like 3 to 5 minutes. And you start naming the things that you take for granted every day. Like the car starts, the fridge is on, you have a roof over your head, all the stuff that's like the normal basics. And you start counting those up. It's like, wow, I really have a lot in my life. There's really something really cool there. And then it makes you happy, first of all. But then you want to that outgrowth, as you mentioned, it's like you want to share that happiness with the world. And then it's like, let's put it this way. You don't want to be the person that basically wraps a present and never gives it to somebody. That's basically what is the failure to exercise gratitude, is that wrapping a present and never giving it to someone. So that's basically my elaboration on it.
I love it. I love it. So appreciative or appreciation advocate. What is that? Describe to us, what is your daily flow because of that?
Right. So when I was in real estate, Appreciation Advocate is a company that we built that basically does all of the client appreciation and love on another person's best clients. That's what we do. We do it for them. And we're as invisible as possible, because we don't want it to, obviously the relationship is between you and your client. We're just the delivery vehicle. But what we did is, when I was in real estate doing $100 million or whatever it is in sales, at this point, a lot of real estate, I did 73% of my business by referral. So a lot of people came to me and they're like, oh, you're like the referral guy, whatever. So I would they said, what do you do? And I started telling them, hey, I give my clients gifts, and these are the gifts I give, and they're systemized, and I do all this stuff. And they're like, oh, that's a lot of work. I don't have time for that. Oh, that's a lot of work. So what I basically did, I said, the same answer keeps coming back every time I give them advice. They say, I don't have time for that. It's too much work. So I basically just said, like, there's a market there. Let me do it for them. So basically, so now I do it for them. And that's basically how it got started. So now the big thing is these gifting companies, I did a lot of research on this. The most gifting company costs like $10,000, $15,000, $25,000 to hire. And, my ideal client is solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, mom and pop and all them. So, and average Joe. So mom and pop and average Joe don't show up for a $15,000 to $25,000 consulting fee. But that's the difference. One of our pitch there is just being affordable. That's in our mission statement, just remaining affordable and unlocking the ability to show gratitude for small businesses and allow them to compete with the big corporate budgets at a high level and exceed that level.
That's so good. You come in and it's interesting in the marketplace to identify the thing, and I wouldn't say plug the hole, but the thing that's going to activate, instead of like releasing, to activate the muscle from within. It's like, actually, you know what, that's one little metric, and it seems like such a small little thing that people, like you say, it's small, but yet people don't seem to take the time, or they don't care. They say they care, but when it comes to executing, you come in and say, listen, we'll do it for you, which I think is really cool, because you're giving people that opening to what appreciation actually could do, not just in business, but in their life, right? So you're changing people's families, relationships are really cool. Okay.
Yeah.
So what I do like to do now, I like to pivot over, and I like to ask you, what did you have to go through an experience so that you could be here now? And got two questions for you. Let's start with, share a funny story that to this day, if you think about it, it still cracks you up. Like you can't believe that you actually thought that what you were going to do was a good idea, and then you did it. And actually, honestly, before you hit go, the thing was a fail.
Sure. So big, I would say I had a coaching company where I was trying to be a coach at one point, and I realized in that moment that I don't necessarily feel like I have the patience for that. And I
Mm.
also didn't, so I started, I actually didn't have like, a separating factor either. Like I was just like another high performing real estate agent doing $20 million in sales a year or whatever, which, okay, cool. You sell 40 homes, but these other coaches were, they're running these massive teams. They're doing 200 million in sales a year. And like, I wasn't any of that. So there wasn't really anything that separated me, but I'm like gung ho on this thing. I mean, I spent thousands of dollars, built a logo, built an infrastructure, built, webinars and all these systems. And I launched it, and it went like not even, I couldn't even generate a lead, not one lead, none, like none came in. Cause for me, it was just like, you're just another high performing realtor who thinks you can make money coaching. And then like, that sucked. So, and I was just,
Sorry to hear, my friend. Sorry, it was just a great story, but sorry to hear.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's whatever. That was basically, that's the big face plant for me.
I love it. Egg in the face, right? I thought it was a good idea, and it just didn't. The result evidence showed that apparently it wasn't a good idea. Okay.
Yes.
So how did you take, exactly. So how did you take that story, and how did you keep going on? And I think what I like to say is something like this. Share with us a story when you were faced with a discomfort that you had to learn how to embrace, and you had to utilize, and actually, to be honest, you had to bring into your life. So a discomfort that you had to actually integrate into your life as something to build on rather than avoid.
So I think the thing that I really hated the most, and I feel like this is the thing for a lot of small business owners, was I absolutely hate the process of lead generation, as I am more of an introverted type of person. Now, I'm not like hide me under a rock type introvert, like don't talk to me, but I lean that way. So I would say like, I have to overcome that I guess obstacle of trying to reach out to people, call them, talk to them, and engage with people. And the thing is, I don't ever want to sound like a salesperson, which that again, this is where kind of where appreciation advocate came into play, because other people have that problem too, and they don't want to call and be salesy. And then that was where I was like, I know, I'll send them a gift, and then I can call behind the gift, and it's not as salesy because they know when they see my name on the caller ID, it'll be like, oh, look, my realtor's calling. I wonder what. And then, oh, you know what? He's probably calling about this gift. And then the call is so much nicer and warmer. And it's like, and you don't have to talk about real estate. And it's like, oh, cool. This is so nice. And that's so that it was like the introvert way to do lead generation. And it was easy. It was fun. It was like, oh, dude, Steve, this is such a great gift. This is so cool. Nobody ever gets me something like this. This is, I can't wait to show this to my family at Thanksgiving. I'm like, great. While you're at it, tell them what I do for like, that kind of stuff.
So if you were to say what was the specific discomfort, because Ferocious Achievers are pretty in tune with things that feel kind of horrible. Like they kind of feel like it's totally, I don't want to face this, but no matter where they turn, it just keeps reminding like, you got to lean in. And so basically sometimes like what people say is they had to make sadness safe, or I don't know, they had to make something safe, some discomfort. But what discomfort, if you look at that story, and Steve, we can see you're an appreciation guy. We know this about you, right?
Yeah.
So what I want to appreciate in you is just all of who you are. And so if you think about the discomfort, what would you say the actual discomfort was that you had to learn to embrace, utilize, and then integrate? What specific, if you could just say it really simply.
The false aura of being I guess a over salesy. That was like, I felt gross making the phone call. Like that like really made me uncomfortable, like to give outreach to people. And like, I was like, oh, like a slick salesman. That was the big discomfort. So like, I had to be like, how do I do this process without and remove that feeling somehow. Like, how do you have to do it. You can't, there's no way around this. So either put the slick salesman suit on or build another suit. And that was basically what I did. So that you just have to embrace that there's no way around this obstacle of lead generation and these phone calls. So you've got to do it. And now it's just, I guess the solution to answer your question is being creative and just coming up with another way to engage the wall in front of me.
Love it. Love it. So that beautiful, fantastic. What I hear you saying basically is you reached into the place of discomfort and you realize, listen, this is coming back constantly. This ain't going anywhere until I step
Basically,
up. Right. Until I just look straight into the, whatever it is, the camera, into the phone, show up at a meeting. I've got to do this. Right. And so all of what I'm looking for is on the other side of discomfort, and on the other side, meaning if I bring it into me, make it safe. And now it's obviously it's a regular part of your life, because look what you and I are doing here. You're engaged. You reached out to me and you said, hey, I'd like to be on your show. So that's to the play right there. It's beautiful. Okay.
Yeah. I think the easy way to put it is I basically that wall or obstacle was coming at me no matter what. All I did was just put a pillow in front, so it didn't hurt as much. That's the easy way to put it.
Just shield me. And now
that was the gift. The gift was the shield.
Exactly. The gift was a shield. But now when we observe you, it doesn't seem like there's any armor that you have on. There's nothing, like you didn't say, can we not do video? You're just here. So it's almost like you've realized that, that's when you integrate, when you realize that you made it safe in you, because integration creates transformation. And now you're here, you're facing us, which is great. Okay. So what I like to do now is let's talk specifically about maturing the achiever forward. So in 30 seconds or less, paint for us a canvas, like a picture of what moving to your next level looks like and feels like to you. No need for sentences. This is like capturing it in your own words. Use descriptive phrases and descriptive words. Again, no like proper sentence structure. If you need to close your eyes, do whatever you need to do, but just give yourself the gift. So appreciate inside of yourself and share with the world and capture the next level in a simplistic style. Just go for it. Like feel in the heart for a second. You need to kind of ground yourself, but then go for it. 30 seconds or left. Boom. Just go for it. What's the next level? Describe it. Descriptive words.
Sure. I would say for me, paid off real estate. All my real estate paid off. Monthly income would be monthly revenue, 250,000 a month would be great. Family, I would say summers off totally, like complete total, vacation home on the water. Let's go back to the, paid off vacation home on the water. Some new boy toys, like electric surfboards and snowmobiles and all those other fun things that you could get on the water. Beach time for sure. Big beach guy. Yeah, I think that's basically it. And obviously at the beach, family time.
Love
that's
it. Love it.
Most important.
Love it. Okay. So now we're going to go power round, and I'm going to ask you, I'm just going to like hit you with questions.
Rock and roll.
My audience loves this, right? So I got 7 power pack questions, and answer in a minute or less, just go for it. Right. And so when you think about your next level, the way you described it, paying off your real estate, 250 a month in residual income, summers off, new boy toys, time with family, beach time, taking that awesome silly suit off. It looks great, but sometimes the skin suit looks just a little better on the beach.
Definitely.
If you try to slather sunblock on that shirt, it's going to be a while to launder that. So you don't want to be doing this, right? So, okay.
Yes.
Right. So question 1, what specific inner expansion do you know you'll have to embrace in order to go to the next level?
I think for me, I just gonna have to have a larger team internally, and hiring more people, and that is a bit of a scary thing. Is managing a team of 10 or more. That's like we don't need. I never needed a team of 10 or more before, so and that's the thing. So a lot of trust there that I have never had to do.
Love it.
Yes.
Number 2. What do you have to learn? Meaning, what do you have to take in, absorb? What new do you have to learn?
I think there's always a better way logistically to do what I do, and on the appreciation advocate. So I think anytime there's a new logistic trick on how to get better shipping, how to do better engravings, or how to do any of those things, I think there's always a way to improve that whole logistic process until it's like super streamlined. And I think that's almost like a puzzle that fascinates me that I really want to get better at. So like that's,
Mm.
if I can learn as much about that as possible without losing my track of my goals, because obviously I have to still run the company. I can't just go down the logistic rabbit hole, but I think that's what I would want to focus on learning more of.
Love it.
Yeah, most of.
Number 3, what do you have to unlearn? And often in life, we think the learning is what gets us everything. To be honest, next level, Ferocious Achiever, it's more unlearning old patterns, unlearning, coming down the ladder, not going up the ladder, but we have to unlearn so we can finally make room for that, whatever wants to come in and take you to the next level. What do you have to unlearn?
I'd say that I have to unlearn how to that my time is limited, and I have to keep going with that I keep thinking that I have forever time, and that's not true, because I'm an energizer bunny. I could literally work like 19, 20 hours a day and never get tired. Like I've never experienced burnout in my life. I literally can tick forever. And that I have to unlearn that. I have to like take a break, step back. You have limited time, spend it with people that you love, and stop and enjoy yourself.
Beautiful, beautiful. Where do you need to hold on just a little tighter?
I'd probably say spiritually. I think for me, I have I got a little bit disconnected from the man upstairs a couple of years back, and I think listening to Steve Harvey, what's really cool, is he was just like, for some reason, everyone was like, "Oh, you got to talk to God more," and like you never hear that. It's always like, okay, more religious talk, whatever. But the way Steve Harvey communicates that message, it just came right through, hit me right in the heart. I was like, "Yep, you are the voice that I want to listen to on that topic." And
Beautiful.
I think so. That's what I think. Just having more of Steve Harvey in my life, and I know he's a funny guy. It's so easy to listen to, but his messages are phenomenal too.
Oh, that's so cool. I can genuinely appreciate that, my friend. That's super, super fun. And it's super thoughtful of you. Hey, good job. You connect with where all the appreciation actually comes from, right? Like the receiving that, which is awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
Where do you need to let go a bit more? Just a little bit. I'll say it again. Where do you need to let go? Perhaps just a little sooner. Let go a little sooner, not hold on so tight.
Probably right here at the Appreciation Advocate. It's just letting like that, like I was just telling you, that trust of having a team of 10 or more, like that's a lot to let go, because I'm used to overseeing this project or that project. And it's like, I got to trust the account manager on that one that they can do it at the level I would do it. It's like, that's what I got to let go of. And it's a little scary. And it's just like every new hire, even though you know that you can teach them, it's just still, it's like, are they going to do it the way I do it? So that's part, the entrepreneur's dilemma that we all face.
Yeah.
So,
it seems to me, tell me what you think. It seems to me what you're kind of saying there. And again, if I get this wrong, just please correct me. But what you're wanting to do is letting go a little sooner of control, just a little sooner.
Yeah.
Right?
And I'm not a control freak. It's more, I'm a quality freak. Like I want to make sure it's of quality. That's my thing. So that's my fear. I'm like, I'm sure you can do it, but the way I want you to do it is the question.
So like letting go a little sooner of the control of quality. There you go.
Yes, there you go.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, I love it. Nailed. Awesome. Okay. What specific inner musculature do you need to master? We're not talking about playing around. We're talking about executing, lasering down, and getting it consistently integrated, letting it transform your life. What specific inner musculature? Is it a word? Is it a phrase? But what do you know you have to master?
Chronological order. So when I was building Appreciation Advocate, I thought of all the 19 different things I wanted to do, and I started working on item number 18 and number 7, then number 12, and then back to 2. And I just never started on 1. And it's like, do 1, then 2, then 3. And I was just doing all the things at one time and putting them all together and moshing them all up, and then reorganizing them in the proper order. Whereas just start at 1, moron, and then go to 2.
Yeah. And your brain's kind of going, I love working. The only thing is what you're probably also doing is thinking to yourself, oh gosh, appreciation kind of comes naturally to me, but it seems like there would be something that would be maybe a little bit easier if I would just sequentially order things, map it out, look at, gosh, I think we all, to some degree, all of us, innovators are, disruptors. We have a good idea. And then we think, well, what would it take me to write these things down? And we just naturally think the thing we write first is the thing we might do first. Instead of, we need to like reflect back and go like, okay, so if I would see the end result, how did I come to the end result? What was the most important to begin with, to map it out, right? And so we go there. I love it. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Now, Steve, bring it all home and solidify it all for yourself and for all of us listening. Meaning, set a hard line by laying on the table here a non-negotiable date that you're fully committed to. When you said earlier, and I wrote these things down, right? You're talking about $250 a month income, summers off, new boys' toys, real estate paid off. Like if you'd set something that's based on reality, not fantasy play, set a hard date that you're fully committed to when your next level. So again, these things that I just mentioned will take place. When is it? Go.
12/31/24.
12/31, 24. So you got to 24. So you got 2 years.
Basically, yep. Yep. Time to rock and roll, man.
Time to rock and roll. Okay. So I'm going to ask you, and this is a little off what I normally do, but if you could say, what are you going to achieve this year? So in 12 months from now, what are you going to achieve this year?
I'm probably going to say, I'd like to say Appreciation Advocate breaks the 7-figure mark for the first time, which is going to be pretty cool.
That's beautiful. 7-figure mark. And I'm writing things down here and the universe is listening. So there you go. This is fun. This is awesome.
This is cool. Keep writing that. Write bigger number. Put a couple more zeros on there for me, James.
The power of setting a new standard happens when we make a new decision with inner clarity and that decisive certainty, right? And life isn't certain, but we got to get certain about certain things, right? Remember, when you think about making, right? You think about making decisive decisions, and what does it matter? Really, a decisive decision matters everything. Decisions that are right? Decisions that are open-ended. You hear so many people talk about, I made a decision, but actually, there's nothing that's been decided on. And it really helps you and the world nothing to make a open decision. So this variety isn't a decision. So the variety of saying, I'm going to make a negotiable decision, that's not really a decision, but it's a predetermined open-ended negotiation that will sabotage you directly away from your goals every single time, right? And actually, when you think about it, deciding nothing and negotiating with everything helps lessen nothing. Truth is, when we do not follow through on our commitments, it actually down-regulates very quickly. Down-regulates and quickly destroys the very confidence that we want to be about consistently. And, and what do we actually want? Well, we want bottomless courage that is essential to engaging and breaking through those new challenges at a higher level. Now, nothing changes. I don't know what you think about this, but I think nothing changes until someone decides and someone gets obsessed. When I mean obsessed, they decide and they take radical action with courage and unshakable confidence. Unlike someone who thinks he's decided, but in reality, he leaves it open to negotiation. For the one that decides and acts, he or she is able to see it through when the tough gets rough. And you know what tough gets rough looks like. When you look at it and you're like, gosh, what happened here? So these people, of course, like you're able to adapt, you're able to pivot, and you're able to get to those goals in a really stylish way. And so, gosh, you graced us with style. I mean, honestly, you look at how you look today, but honestly, what I like the most about you is the inside of you. Like, I think that's the most beautiful part. Here's an individual that says, listen, I got to be about something, and something that is good, that's regenerative, that's glowing. And you know what? Honestly, hats off to you. When you say Steve Harvey, I haven't listened to him for a long time, but it's interesting when we realize that, for example, compassion, we don't create compassion. Compassion is, we just have to participate with it. And we're all designed to create love and make a decision for love. And I can see it in your face. I love it. It's a fantastic thing. So leave us with final words of wisdom. It's been an amazing time with you here today. For those people that are listening and they want to learn a little bit more how to appreciate and just be in that state of non-anxious striving, if you could speak into that, help us out. What do they need to focus on?
Sure. There's 2 quotes I can give you. So one, right out of the Bible, Malachi 3:10 is the best quote on gratitude ever, which is about bring the tithe to the storehouse, that whole verse. And then there's the quote. You go ahead? Yeah. So basically the quote from the Bible there is, bring the tithe into the storehouse, and so that there may be food in my house, and test me in this. And I like get emotional saying it. So test me in this and see if I will not throw open the gates of heaven and pour down so much blessing there will not be room enough to store it. That's the coolest quote ever. And it's all about gratitude. You give to my house and just watch your old man work, basically. And then The second thing is what you were just talking about, decisions, and I think is really awesome. The best advice on decisions I've ever been given was from a guy named Brian Buffini. He said, when your values are clear, your decisions are easy. And that was life changing. It's like, so just, save my marriage, save my life, that's like crazy stuff. So like, it's just easy when you prioritize everything and you put down what's important to me, what's not important to me. All the decisions after that are really easy. You don't have to make this difficult decisions. It's like, okay, wife, kids, and God, wife, kids, and everything else. Nothing's above that. So decisions are easy after that. It's just like, all right, what ranks higher?
You're right. You got your priorities intact. You got things kind of structured well. Steve,
Yes.
It was, again, an absolute honor to have you in the show. Where can people find you?
You could just, if you have questions or anything, you want to reach out to me for any reason, just to talk or whatever, just send me an email at steve@appreciationadvocate.com. We can connect over, I love beer, so I'm happy to grab a beer with you. Virtually.
Yeah. So we have a virtual beer as we talk about God. How about that? That's nice.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Sounds like a plan.
That's awesome. All right, Steve, it was great having you on. Take care.
Thanks, James.
James Hepner here. Thank you so much for listening to Ferocious Achiever. If you are a successful owner, founder, C-suite executive, or CEO who would like to be on this program, please visit us at www.ferociousachiever.com. Near the top of the page, you'll see our Ferocious Achiever lion logo. And right next to the lion logo, to the right-hand side, you'll see a little blue box that when you scroll over top and click on it, it'll take you directly to that guest booking page. Now, if you got something out of this interview, would you share this episode on social media or send it via email or text? Just do a quick screenshot with your phone and text it to a friend or post it on your socials. If you know someone that would be a great guest, tag them on social media or send them an email or a text. Let them know about the show and include the hashtag Ferocious Achiever. I love seeing your posts and guest suggestions, so please don't be shy. Now, we regularly put new content, new episode out, and we do this consistently. To make sure you don't miss any episodes, go ahead and subscribe. Your thumbs up, ratings, reviews, those things all go a long way to help promote the show and mean a lot to me and my team. You want to know more? Simply go to the website www.jameshepner.com or follow me on LinkedIn, Facebook, or Twitter. And here's something that you don't want to miss. If you want to stop the self-sabotage, you want to raise your standards and participate with unshakable confidence, you will want to take the Maximize Your Life quiz, now found at www.jameshepner.com/quiz. By taking this little quiz, you will discover exactly where you're making your life unnecessarily difficult and exactly where your behaviors are cutting you off from the outcomes and goals you crave most. Your quiz results will pinpoint with precise accuracy the exact areas to focus on. This will immediately activate your ability to use your time and resources effectively and instantly set you on your path to create higher level gains with less strain. Why not get down to the base and discover the truth about what's controlling your life right now? I challenge you, take a few minutes. You owe it to yourself. You're worth it, and your experience of life depends on it. Give yourself the gift by honoring yourself and taking 5 minutes to invest in yourself. Take the Maximize Your Life quiz now. Again, found at www.jameshepner.com/quiz. And finally, set yourself on the path that will lead you directly to what you want and need most now. Until next time, peace out, rock up.